Henny Jahn was a German writer and organ builder. He was born in 1894 at Stellingen and attended the Realschule in St. Pauli. Here he met Gottlieb Friedrich Harms, with whom he would be united in a mystic wedding in 1913, and with whom he would flee to Norway in 1915 to avoid being enlisted to fight in World War I. In 1919 he co-founded the idyllic artistic community Ugrino. In 1926 he married Eleanor Phillips. After the Nazi takeover of Germany, he left for Bornholm in Denmark in 1933. He returned to Hamburg in 1950 and died in 1959 from a heart attack. As a writer, he is known for his advocacy of gay themes in his work to reflect his own bisexuality. He is also remembered for the play Pastor Ephraim Magnus, a nihilistic expressionist play stuffed with perversities and sadomasochistic motives, and the novel Perugia. We will review his 1956 Die Nacht Aus Blei, a separately published segment of his unfinished novel Jeden Errailtes. We see Mathieu arrive at a dark, lifeless city with no memory of how he got there. A mysterious companion commands him to go explore it before disappearing. Wandering through the streets, he is led to a hotel, where he meets the woman Elvira, who notices his desire for her body and takes him to her bedroom, only for her body to be dark and lifeless when undressed like lacquered wood. Being cast out for refusing to lie with her, he is accompanied away by Elvira's page and possible brother, whose lips are made from mercury, and who keeps telling Mathieu to kiss him and undo his shirt, even when the page boy is only about 15, which makes it very uncomfortable. Then he meets a 16-year-old boy selling himself on the street, again very uncomfortable. The boy asks him for a cigarette and Mathieu pities him, so he takes him to a nearby pub. There Mathieu sees the boy is literally himself from 9 years ago, not just identical in name and appearance, but going through the exact same events that Mathieu had gone through when he was his age. He decides to call the boy Anders to avoid confusion, but when he tries to get him something to eat or drink at the pub, the waitress tells him there is nothing left, implying that the current night is longer than all others and may last forever, in which case they will never close, even when fully empty. Anders and Mathieu leave and are caught in a snow blizzard. The young boy utterly exhausted, so much so Mathieu has to carry him on his back. They arrive at the door of a cellar leading down a great ways under the earth where Anders lives. He then reveals that, like Mathieu, he too was stabbed in the stomach by people from this town, who are all secretly as dark as lacquered wood and hate anyone with a fair body. So they kept ritually stabbing him over and over till finally his wound could never heal. The wound he had been walking with the whole time, his clothes soaked in blood. Mathieu tries to help him, but Anders insists to be put to bed in a wooden subterranean coffin. Mathieu tries to help the boy with his injury, but the boy just takes Mathieu's hand to force him to kill Anders to put him out of his misery. Mathieu then climbs out and hears the lid of the tomb clang shut. The book is sadly not great. The first half of the novel is full of pointless meandering, with none of the promised Kafkaesque atmosphere. Jahn also has a tendency, amid a lot of philosophizing, to go on about sperm a bit too much. Honestly, the first half of the book could just be omitted and nothing would be lost.